Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 19, text number 4. Anvito Brahma Sharvabhyam Lokapalai Sahanuge Apagiyamano Gandharve Munivischapsaro Ganahe. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. When Lord Vishnu appeared in the sacrificial arena, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all chief predominating personalities of every planet, as well as their followers, came with him. When he appeared on the scene, the residents of Gandharva Loka, the great sages, and the residents of Apsara Loka all praised him. Text 5. Siddha Vidyadara Daitya Dhanava Guhyakadahe Sunandananda Pramukaha Parshada Pravara Harihi. The Lord was accompanied by the residents of Siddhaloka and Vidyadhara Loka, all the descendants of Diti, and the demons, and the Yakshas. He was also accompanied by his chief associates headed by Sunanda and Nanda. Text 5. Kapilo Narada Datto Yogeshaha Sanakadayaha Tammanviyur Bhagavata Ye Cha Tat Sevanot Saksaha. Great devotees who were always engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as well as the great sages named Kapila, Narada, and Dattatreya, and masters of mystic powers, headed by Sanaka Kumara, all attended the great sacrifice with Lord Vishnu. Text 7. Yatra dharma duggha bhumihi sarva kama dugghat sati dogda smabhipsatan arthan yajamanasya bharata. My dear Vidura, in that great sacrifice, the entire land came to be like the milk producing Kamadhenu, and thus, by performance of yajna, all daily necessities for life were supplied. Purport. In this verse, the word dharmadhuha is significant. For it indicates Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu is also known as Surabhi. Surabhi cows inhabit the spiritual world. And as stated in Brahma Samhita, Lord Krishna is engaged in tending these cows. Surabhir avipalayantam. One can milk a Surabhi cow as often as one likes. And then the cow will deliver as much milk as one requires. Milk, of course, is necessary for the production of so many milk products, especially clarified butter, which is required for performance of great sacrifices. Unless we are prepared to perform the prescribed sacrifices, our supply of the necessities of life will be checked. Bhagavad Gita confirms that Lord Brahma created human society along with the yajna and the performance of yajna. Yajna means Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the sacrifices means working for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this age, however, it is very difficult to find qualified Brahmanas who can perform sacrifices as prescribed in the Vedas. Therefore, it is recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam, Yajnai Sankirtana Prayer, that by performing Sankirtan Yajna and by satisfying the Yajna Purusha, Lord Chaitanya, one can derive all the results derived by great sacrifices in the past. King Prithu and others derived all the necessities of life from the earthly planet by performing great sacrifices. Now this Sankirtana movement has already been started by the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. People should take advantage of this great sacrifice and join in the society's activities. Then there will be no scarcity. If Sankirtana Yajna is performed, there will be no difficulty, not even in industrial enterprises. Therefore, this system should be introduced in all spheres of life: social, political, industrial, commercial, etc. Then everything will run very peacefully and smoothly. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. King Prithu performed 100 horse sacrifices. And this is the Vedic practice of an emperor. Why this mic has become like this? It's a duty of every emperor to perform Ashwamedha Yajna, because Ashwamedha Yajna involves lot of offerings to be made in a huge scale. Cannot be done by individuals. It can be done only by a king who has got access to such wide categories of ingredients and in large scale, which needs to be collected. Not simply locally you can collect. For Ashwamedha Yajna, the king sends batches of horsemen for a long period of time. They go, because we are talking about the emperor of the earth. He goes all over the world, different batches, and bring the ingredients. And that is offered. A very special yajna it is, which cannot be performed by individuals. So Maharaj Prithu did this as much as Lord Ramachandra did it. Every king, every emperor undertakes this activity of Ashwamedha Yajna. So whether from the king, emperor, to small kings, to little citizens of each kingdom, everyone is in the Vedic system offers sacrifice of different types. But the enjoyer of all these sacrifices is one. That is Yajna Purusha, Vishnu. And it is mentioned here that Yajna Purusha appears in the sacrificial arena not only by himself, but with all universal heads of different departments. Because it is about following the system set up by the Supreme Creator, Krishna. A system that will deliver all the needs of the people, not only humans, animals, everyone on the earth with great prosperity. So the Lord has created this material world also as a valid place for living entities. If they don't want pure bhakti, if they don't want to be in the Vaikuntha Loka, the material world is also a place where if one has material desires, he can fulfill those things also by following the system given in the Vedas of offering their respective yajnas. A householder coming to the householder, every householder is supposed to perform every day a small yajna. Like this, the principle of supply, of abundance of needs from the earth, because all these are coming from the earth. It comes only when the yajna is performed. So we see here the great sacrifice. The entire land came to be like the milk-producing Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu, whatever you desire, it produces. And Kamadhenu is of cows of the spiritual world. And thus by performing yajna, all daily necessities for life were supplied. So this is an ideal situation of a Vedic model of earth. Of course, today we see that there is no such even semblance of yajna. The human society, not only about fire sacrifices, every human being is supposed to engage whatever work he is doing. He has to offer the results of the work, thinking that the work is a yajna, yajnartat karma. Every activity that he does is a yajnartat, yajnartha. Arthat means purpose, yajnartat karma. He has to engage in activities for the purpose of yajna, for the purpose of Vishnu. But that also is not happening. So the big question arises. Still people are surviving. Actually speaking, this is not quality survival. Modern world's survival is not the quality survival, which is the entitlement for human society. The present human society, life of human society, is a miserable life. Everyone in the material world now, instead of doing their duty, they are offering their respective yajna or working. We're not talking about only fire sacrifices. It's only one of the sacrifices that Vishnu takes. Work is another yajna that Vishnu takes. And there is no human being or no person can exist without work. Can anybody work without existing? No. Life means you have to work. So, the living entities in this material world have to work. Now, the quality way of working is to work in recognition and consciousness of Vishnu as the enjoyer, as a leader. Vishnu is the supreme leader, and the leader of the emperors, the leader of the kings. Aklanta Kodi Nayaka, Aklanta Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. Not only of one earth, not only of one universe, unlimited universes. He is a Nayaka, he is a leader. He is a leader among all living entities, small to big, externally as well as internally in their hearts. So, right now, in the modern age, Kali Yuga, there is total neglect of the supreme leader, Krishna. But still, whatever we are getting, whatever survival we are doing, even though we may say it is the lowest level of opulence, it is the lowest level of survival. It is given by, it is provided by the Supreme Lord Vishnu through his agency of Kala. He doesn't have to do anything directly, through his agency of Kala. So the entitlement of life on earth is something else that we do not know now. Today's population does not know what is the quality of life. And that is available in our Bhagavatam. By reading this, we understand. We should not think, oh, where is this kind of life? Looks like it's all some mythology, or we think like that. Because we are beaten and conditioned. This is the world. From birth. This is life. When we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we see that what is the quality of life, high quality of life, especially for human beings. If they simply follow, we are not talking about, right now we are not even talking about devotional service, pure devotional service. That is different. By following all these things, it helps as a background for executing pure devotion service, which means you are trying to please Krishna for the sake of pleasing him. Not that you're pleasing Krishna so that I get from him the results of the yajna as prescribed in the Shastras. So the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, though it touches upon yajna, but ultimately we have to understand that Vedesya sarvair aham eva vedye vedantakrit veda videvacha. I am to be known by all the Vedas. I am the knower of all the Vedas. I am to be known by all the Vedas. I am to be pleased by all the Vedas. And where is all this materially high standard life given? In the Vedas. Therefore, Krishna says, rise above those Vedas. Now I am going to tell you pure devotional service. That is ananyas chintayanto mam. Sarvadharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Like this, a different level of relationship with Krishna, with God, a loving relationship of Krishna without seeing him as a supplier of necessities of life. That is our life. But that is the life of a very few. And it will always remain like that. When Prabhupada said, makes the whole world Krishna conscious, he means Varnashrama Dharma, which means bring people to this Vedic standard of life, to create a civilized world, let alone becoming, turning the whole world into pure devotion service. That is takes life. It's always Bhaunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyante. That is rare. And by the mercy of a pure devotee, like Srila Prabhupada, a few get a chance, like we got, for getting the highest. Not a God-fearing life, God-obeying life, which is level 1 Vedic life. We are given a life, God-loving life. How to love God. However, Srila Prabhupada, being a universal teacher, he desires welfare of everyone, every living entity. As the Vishwaguru, universal teacher. And therefore, we see that Prabhupada is talking. People should take advantage and perform Sankirtan Yajna, because for other people also, there is no question of following the other yajnas. It's not that we can give now, we can bring back that in Kali Yuga, that Vedic society. It's not possible. Those yajnas are not performable. Not only that, those people are not ready to perform that. So in Kali Yuga, Yajnai Sankirtana Prayer Yajantihi Sumedashaha. Those who are intelligent, Bhagavatam says. See, Bhagavatam is what is God's system. That is described. But the very same Bhagavatam in the end says Yajnai Sankirtana Prayer. In Kali Yuga, the yajna that is performable easily to bring prosperity, material prosperity itself. That's what Prabhupada is saying here. social, political, industrial, commercial, etc. You should never think that Prabhupada, has created a movement which is like a mutt for a few people to practice pure bhakti, which is there, no doubt. As disciples of Srila Prabhupada, we have to, our determination is clear that Prabhupada wants us to attain pure bhakti, get out of this material world, go back to Godhead. But Prabhupada is not only our teacher, he is a universal teacher. And God has a universal message for every living entity. For every human being, God has a message. That message is called Yuga Dharma. So this Yuga Dharma, that means if common man, now we're talking, see, focus two kinds of audience. One audience is Prabhupada gives message, high level of bhakti he gives, and then we practice that and go back to Godhead. Vaishnava says, Paradukha Dukhi. Even materially, why are you suffering? Do Sankirtana yajna. Do yajnas in your home. Bring large number of people and chant the holy names of the Lord. Even materially, you will prosper. Why are you suffering? And by doing that process, ultimately, bhakti is about voluntarily surrendering to Krishna. Krishna does not want any living entity to forcefully surrender, create a force by which they surrender. No. There are so many people who are very, very highly suffering also, I have seen. But you tell them to surrender to Krishna, they will not. They're suffering like anything, but they will not. So as Jiva's free will is there. So coming to Prabhupada for pure devotional service, that is something that is a blessing. Rare among the rare. Therefore, one should not be surprised. One should not be surprised that the world is not accepting the devotion service in its pure form. So this Krishna consciousness movement is meant for everybody, has something in it for everybody. This is important. Has something for those who want to dedicate their life and soul for Guru's service, Krishna's service, and want to go back to Godhead. Something is there for them. Krishna consciousness movement has something to next level, congregation. Obviously, they don't want to sacrifice like that. They want to dovetail and make their life as Krishna consciousness as possible, along with their material desires, as usual. So we have to understand that they also have to be provided that opportunity. And it is not that they can, the culture is different. The culture in Brahmachari ashram is different. The culture, surrendered culture is different. The Krishna conscious culture that is required in a congregation, Grahasta's house, is different. Not that they cannot. They can also come to the same level of seriousness as FTM, but in general, average, you cannot expect the congregation to, because they carry so much more material responsibility still in their head. They have not reduced their material responsibilities. Maybe after Vanaprastha and then they'll completely focus on Krishna conscious activities. for going back to Godhead. So that is a different kind of a culture of Krishna consciousness, which is distinct from the Krishna consciousness culturing that happens to a full-time devotee, whether it's a brahmachari or a grihastha. Now, beyond the congregation, then there are pious Hindus, pious people, Sanatana Dharmis. For them also, Prabhupada's message is there. That simply add Sankirtan to your life, please. Every home, sit down, 10 minutes or 15 minutes, chant the holy names of the Lord. Together, all members of the house should sit together and chant. It looks like they are not very serious. What is it? Just ritually they will come every day, evening, tell all the parents, children, everybody will sit together and chant for 10 minutes. What is going to make a difference? Materially, prosperity in the family, and when that is multiplied house after house, then you are implementing this yajna sankirtana praya. So Sankirtana, yajna, as a yajna, it is not Sankirtana or chanting or hearing. Necessarily, only pure chanting and hearing will have effect. That is a mistaken notion. Kalikale Nama Rupa Avatara Krishna. That means whether pure or not pure, purity is there or no purity is there. If you chant and hear the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, as directed by Prabhupada, as directed by Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, whether 10 rounds or whether 16 rounds or 10 minutes at home, 1 round, 2 round, it is very effective. It is very effective for this world. So today we make so many people chant the holy name of the Lord. Especially in India, the Krishna consciousness movement is thriving, both as a movement within, which may look like small. I mean, what is 100, 200, 400 full-time devotees? Very insignificant. And if you say that as the expansion of Prabhupada's movement, because Prabhupada is a universal teacher, this lot will always be, the serious lot will always be less. Then there are mixed lot are there. They may even come to the point of, chanting 16 rounds and taking initiation. Which we expect, at least those who become disciple of Prabhupada, by chanting 16 rounds. We expect, because if you see, during Srila Prabhupada's time, he gave initiation only to full-time devotees. He did not give to congregation, right? But very few people also in the congregation come to the point of 16 rounds. But it's a great opportunity for them to develop jnana and vairagya and decide to go back to God at this life. It all depends how serious they want to be. As we said, nothing is forced. Nobody forces you back to Godhead. No, I have taken initiation, I will go back to Godhead. If you don't want to go, Prabhupada will take you. You may superficially desire, I want to go back to Godhead. Are you seriously desiring you want to leave this material world? Ask that question. Do you seriously want to leave this material world? Are so many nice things are there? Then the answers will come. No, I have this pending, that pending, that pending, this pending. Then it will take many more lives. So the point that I am making here is that we should understand that Prabhupada is the universal teacher. So he has lessons for everyone. And this Sankirtana yajna that common people perform, let's say they are not come in touch with ISKCON itself. Somewhere in their house they got a habit of, children or parents, morning or evening, just, जाओ प्रार्थना करो सब, जाओ बच्चे लोग, वो सब जाके बैठता है 15 मिनट, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. It was existing, by the way. In my childhood, which is not, many centuries back, just few decades back, in a hometown, Bangalore is modern, so we used to go for vacation to our hometown. There it was, and those days everything was joint family. The uncle is staying, this uncle is staying, the aunt is staying, this cousin is staying, this, everybody. So, grandfather, grandmother, they had made a rule. That means even when we are gone for vacation, full of so many children, this daughter's children, like that, about 15, 20 children are there. Playing the whole day vacation. Huh? I can't imagine that kind of even social situation in the modern days. It's all vanished. And then, but sharp 6 o'clock, wash your feet. Everybody has to wash your feet, wash their feet. This is the order of grandfather and grandmother. And there's a room, Lord's picture, everything is there, puja room. Everybody has to sit and Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. It was ulta. And this is a tone. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So this system existed. Yajna, it is not small effect. It has got spiritual and material effect. That we have to understand. We are not that Krishna consciousness movement is not giving a solution for material needs of the society. If you want to prosper, we are not talking about, okay, Hare Krishna will provide you minimum material needs for your survival. No, we're not talking that. According to your desire, bona fide desires, material desires are also all fulfilled by performing yajna. So they develop faith in Vishnu. And then naturally the system of material existence, Janma Mrityu Jara Vadi Dikku Doshan Darshana Adhyatmik Klesha, Adi Bhautik Klesha, Adi Daivik Kleshas, that automatically works on every living entity when he is in the journey of this Vedic path. And suddenly it will strike him that, no, whatever Vedas say, it's all temporary. Where is eternal? Where is eternal love? Where is everything that is never, where is eternal relationship? Question comes. That happens in the, in the course of, because Maya has set up, Krishna has set up this Maya kingdom, by which that also is a slow beating that Maya gives, where living entity sometimes wakes up and develops detachment, asks the question, yatato atato brahma jijnasa, he asks. So those who start asking atato brahma jijnasa, then they go from the Puranas and all Vedas, all those things, generally. Vedas include Puranas, Upanishads, everything. They go into the Upanishad level, where all these fruits are not offered, philosophy is given. Brahma Jijnasadeya, you are Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. Then they understand. They said, okay, there is life beyond body. There is eternal life. I am eternal substance, Brahman, beyond this bodily life. I can have Brahman life. And then you see, that is why this is called the Bhagavad Gita is called the essence of Upanishads. Bhagavad Gita is called the essence of Upanishads. So when a person comes and whatever level he may be in life, if he understands the Bhagavad Gita as it is, Bhagavad Gita also is being misused left, right, center for so many concocted purposes. Management from Bhagavad Gita. Nonsense. Bhagavad Gita is about going back to Godhead. They are butchering Krishna's message. Take out something. No reference to Krishna. Art of sense control, art of living, this thing, that thing, it's there in the Bhagavad Gita. Actually, Bhagavad Gita is about art of dying, not art of living. How to flourish living, that is one paradigm. How to flourish by dying. Okay, reality is every day we are dying. To think that I am living every day flourishing is a first lie. Because once a baby is born, every day is dying. So if you are understanding the truth that every day you are dying, so the art of dying, how to die in order to live, that is Bhagavad Gita. So just see, this Lord is so merciful and so kind, and His pure devotees are so loving, so kind, that if we want, what we want, they are giving us to every living entity. Karmis are given karma kanda. Who want to be little more elevated in their consciousness, they are given upasana kandas. Different kinds of Sattvic Puranas, Rajasic Puranas, Tamasic Puranas. All of them are not Sattvic Puranas. If you only give Sattvic Puranas, then you are not giving medicine to everybody. How can God not give medicine to everybody? So therefore, if you see Tamasic Puranas, they'll say, okay, this is supreme, he is supreme. How did Vyasadeva write? Vyasadeva should have been very simple, no? He would have, on all Puranas, he should have told Krishna is Supreme Personality Godhead. No, he is working under the order of the Lord. So, it is understood. We also recognize, under the arrangement of the Lord, there are a lot of material gifts being offered in various Puranas with respect to this karma, do this activity and all those things. So we respect all the Puranas, we respect everything as meant for respective people, for respective souls. God has given everyone that one. That is we are talking about the system of this existence. As Prabhupada says, by performance yajna, be satisfied. Bhagavad Gita confirms that Lord Brahma created human society with yajna, the performance of Brahma is the creator of this universe. So therefore it is said Lord Brahma created human society along with yajna. Means the process of yajna, the performance of sacrifice. Yajna means Lord Vishnu and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and sacrifice means working for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See, larger larger, wider scope of yajna is what? Yajna and yajna means sacrifice, performance of sacrifice. And sacrifice means working for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is sacrifice. Now next, what is happening in the modern world? Just see. They are not working for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are working for, I can see that if I work this much, I'll get, end of the month, I'll get salary. Everybody is working in a very low, that is not the way to get even material reward. We perform duties according to Varnashrama system, and then the reward is given by the Devatas, who in turn offer that ultimately to Vishnu. So that is not happening. So in other words, that is why it is called, we are living, we are getting our necessities, but all by misusing the human free will that is given. You work so hard, you exploit all the natural resources and create this Ugra Karma civilization. So Ugra Karma civilization, it is not karma prescribed in the Shastras. Huge mining activities, huge petroleum extraction from the earth, creating pollution by burning all that, creating so many artificial needs today, which the human being actually does not need for achieving his purpose of even material happiness. People have become more and more sick day by day, don't have the average health has only deteriorated. The number of new diseases that has come, in spite of so-called material advancement, is much, we never heard of so many diseases. Such diseases are manifesting. So this is a result of Ugra Karma. Somebody may be rich, but he has no peace. He has no way, he does not know. See, if you don't know God, how can you have peace? If you don't know God, you don't have shelter of God, you can never be peace. You are only psyching yourself peace and happiness. Okay, I'll do some meditation. Okay, all right. Instead of crazily thinking, stop thinking, little relief you'll get. But is that real? Is that peace? Peace is about feeling shelter of our eternal Lord, each one of our eternal Lord in our heart. That is peace. Know that He is a Surat, a friend of all living entities. Krishna is my best friend. Simply knowing that with faith and with belief is equal to peace. Real peace. So we understand by Prabhupada's mercy that though we read all these things, these kind of worlds existed, Prithu Maharaj's world existed on the earth. Though we know all these things, but we know that in the present, therefore Prabhupada gives the purport. Bhagavatam is eternal literature. It talks about all this. But in the purport, Prabhupada says, no, now, here do Sankirtana Yajna, even if it is. Therefore, this system should be introduced in all spheres of life. Social, political, industrial, commercial. Suppose there is an industry. If they are able to gather everybody in the morning and 10 minutes, chant Hare Krishna and then go for your work. This is a way of introducing an industry. Commercial activity. as we preach to people. These are all preaching that is required for. We may say, no, what I can preach to this person? To everybody you cannot preach Sarvadharman Parityaja. No, he will not accept, therefore I will not preach to him. Take him, bring him, tell him, what are you doing? Okay, I'm a businessman. All right. As soon as you open your shop, you do one mala. So then you're connecting his commercial to his chanting. Now you should not think, no, I am telling him to chant for material purposes. No, you don't have to tell it is for material purposes. But you chant God's name. This is a yajna. When he is pleased, then you will prosper, materially and spiritually. There is nothing wrong in telling that. It is not offense to the holy name, because it's a Yuga Dharma. He is not chanting Shuddha Nama. He is chanting the Shakti Avesha Nama. So if according to the instruction of a Vaishnava, he does regularly one mala, his business becomes spiritualized. You'll see the effect of that. Because this replaces all other form of yajnas, which normally in a Vedic society you have to do to prosper spiritually, politically, socially, industrially, commercially. If you have to succeed, if we have to prosper on the earth, this system of yajna very essential. So all those are replaced by Sankirtana yajna. So preaching Krishna consciousness means our duty. Our universal teacher, Srila Prabhupada, has a message for everybody. So whomever we see, Yara Deko Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesha, it does not necessarily mean that Upadesha is Sarvadharman Parityaja. According to the person, there is always Yara Deko Tare Kaho. Whomever you see, you have one level to give. How to introduce Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the essence of preaching Krishna consciousness. Not that, fighting with Mayavadis and convincing God is a person, God is not a person. That's another level. That's a different, a few guys are there like that. But 90% of the people are simply, what is it? You go, acha, especially in India, you go to a village and say, acha, roz ye karna hai? No question asked. Just tell them that you have to do. What I should do? They are waiting. What I should do? They will immediately chant Hare Krishna. Let him act. Let them act. Let them engage in Sankirtana, chanting the holy names of the Lord. We are messengers of the Yuga Dharma. We are messengers of pure love of God also. Those who want to take that, yes. Otherwise, the Yuga Dharma of bettering the life in this Yuga. Prosperity means lesser suffering. Inevitable suffering, nobody can stop. Janma mrityu jara dukkha dosha, then all that, adhyatmika, adi bhautik, that nobody can stop. That is a wave of this material. But within that wave, you can have best of the world, if Sankirtana is introduced. So that we should understand that. For our personal, as disciples of Prabhupada, we do not connect our material prosperity, welfare, anything to this chant. We simply chant. Even though we see, as an institution, we are prospering. Prabhupada used to say this. I have got thousands of full-time devotees working morning to evening in distributing books. They are not working in any factory. They are not doing anything, work like, yet they are being maintained. He gives statistics today, this many thousands of dollars. Prabhupada says, thousands of dollars I am spending on maintaining this institution. Where is it coming from? Yajna. So that has its effect here also. Sometimes I see simple, you maintain simple puja also, somehow temple will run. I remember, it's a fact, I remember that Hyderabad temple, Prabhupada installed those deities. 1986, 87 and all. Very badly managed. I was put as a president there also, after some time. When I went there, what I, as a management system and all, everything that I created here, and the culture that was there among devotees here, freshly, as per Prabhupada's books, we are creating, like now, how Print Temple. When I went there, I saw, my God, nobody has got any kind of all spaced out. In this sense, I'll tell you extreme cases. Somebody comes to temple in the altar and keeps some fruits and goes. Then afterwards I asked the pujari, where is the fruits? It just vanished. They offered and it vanished. Anything like that comes, some dry fruits comes. Just everything might for right, apna. It just vanishes. Nothing remains there. Only what remains was what people put inside the hundi. Can you believe? Oh, was ISKCON like this? There was ISKCON like this. It used to be there. Prabhupada installed those deities. When I went, I really introduced so many systems, restrictions, rebels. That freedom is gone for the pujaris and people who are collecting. The freedom is gone. No organization, nothing. Mess it was. And then I was thinking, still, money is coming. Still temple is prospering. Devotees are all well taken care of. Material aspect I am seeing. Why? Because morning sadhana happens. At least that, okay, maybe 25% of them are there for Mangalarti. 75% are not there. Still it is happening. So powerful that much is. So that is a proof that yajna is Sankirtana prayer. By that yajna, even all the material necessities are showered on the worldly population. Gandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.